Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for you today. And the background of this video footage is just some placeholder, just over some commentary. I thought I'd revive a series that I'd started last year. There was some fun and a little bit of satire as well. And it gives me an opportunity to talk about a couple topics that just happened recently. So let's kind of get into it. Do you know what really grinds my gears? This whole, DC Universe Online wants to leak everything to the CBR comic book website. Now, for one, I'm sure it's a popular, well-traveled website. I don't have any issues there, but, every single DLC for the past, 4 or 5 episodes, it's always information is leaked, leak quotation marks to that website first above anything else. So before they leak keynote art, they leak details about the episodes, they leak the episode release dates, all well before anyone else on the game is even mentioned on the forums. And my problem with this is that I understand that they're trying to reach a broader audience or assume that people are going to be watching this comic book website and want to all of a sudden start up and play DC Universe Online because they see something about a Black Adam episode being released in this epic key art. But what they're missing is that if you're a brand new player to DC Universe Online, so never even heard of DC Universe Online and want to check it out, if you're going to check out the game just because there's this Black Adam episode or whatever episode they're releasing, that player has to go through the whole, leveling up experience, level 1 through 30. They have to play, the DLC episode under the event. So it's really a limited kind of aspect of the actual game itself. So they're exposed only to a limited value. And yeah, sure, they can continue on. But at that point, really, if they're playing it just for the Black Adam episode and then they're going to, just disregard it a couple weeks later, it's not really giving the true experience. Now, if we kind of rewind to what EG7, which is the company that purchased Daybreak, and then Daybreak became Dimensional Link is what they are now, kind of an offshoot of Daybreak. Their whole thing was that it was trying to get old players back to the game. Because that's what it is. They've already established accounts. They already, older players already know, or not older player, but, previous account owners. They already know what DC Universe Online is like. They already know the basics and foundations of the game. And basically, they're looking for a reason to come back. And that's what you want to, entice them with these new episodes and new mechanics and new content. That's what is going to drive those players to come back. Now, I know right away, obviously those older players are not looking at the Launchpad anymore. Rarely, I would say 0.001% are checking in the forums actively. So really the only way that they see that there's new content or to keep up with the game is by YouTube, by DC Universe content creators. Now, I'm not talking just by myself. I'm talking about Multiverse and others as well that covers news events. But, this is where DC Universe Online is missing is. So I'm not saying that just because they've released this Black Adam episode, you guys are going to come back to the game or all people that love to come back to the game. But these channels are where we're going to see it. And releasing secondhand information and covering it, it's basically, we're just like a newscast. Look at this art. Look at this article that came out. Let's talk about this article that came out. And that's really not the same thing. Now, if DC Universe Online had leaked to us, the content creators, so we can actually make content, not just right before it releases, because they've set the whole thing was about this release and the release date. But if they release, say they wanted to say, oh, here's a little bit of content. Here's a 30-second clip of the raid. Here's a 30-second clip of the boss fight or the solo, or here's a peek at what the OP item is, stuff like that. If they would give that to us over the course of a couple weeks or a few weeks leading up to the DLC, and we can make videos on that, that's thousands and thousands of views across those videos that are going to be enticing some of those players to come back. Instead of what we have to wait for is when it releases on public test server, and then we can release the videos, and then basically, leading up to 2 weeks before the episode comes out, here's everything that would entice those players to come back. Where if we could kind of give those leaks, even a few weeks, a month beforehand, it kind of gives those players, hey, let me check back DC, let me log on, let me get my account back up to date, let me check this out, and then I'm ready for the episode, rather than, hey, you got 2 weeks before this episode releases, come back and check out DC. So that's what really grinds my gears, is that they're missing a giant opportunity by not including us as content creators and thinking we're second-class citizens. I can wait. I have a very strong wager that between Multiverse and myself, we're getting way more traffic than anything towards the DC Twitter, anything towards the DC forums. or seeing that traffic. And even Multiverse and myself are pulling views more than like some of the like time capsule videos that are being released on the official DC YouTube channel. So it's just a giant piece. Multiverse and myself, specifically myself too, because I know a lot of you guys that watch my channel are older players or past players. If DC ever wanted to bring those players back to the game, this is where they're going to find that audience. So the second thing that really grinds my gears is the quality control aspect with DCUO Online. Now, what recently came up, a lot of channels have covered already, but there was a massive ban wave across DCUO Online because when the previous update released, there was the Atlantean pack, which normally costs 5,000 like loyalty points or 5,000 station cash, 4,500 with the member discount. It was on for basically one Daybreak cash or one loyalty point. So, surprise, thousands, probably hundreds of players, tons of players just like, completely went overboard and bought like, hundreds of packs. So they had, because the big deal was that 4,500 pack, besides the styles that it granted, which is whatever, it granted stabilizers, and I think it was 15 stabilizer keys as well as 100 station cash. So if you're opening up like 100 of that's 100 times 15, and then 100 times 100 in terms of the source mark. So people are getting like tens of thousands of source marks. They're getting thousands of stabilizer keys. So obviously that'll break things because you can open up past time capsules, get all the rewards, all the larger loot rewards. Even this epic time capsule will cost 3 marks. If you're getting those stabilizer keys for free, it's not a big deal opening up those 3, and then you're guaranteed the rare packs or the black and white neon chrome, etc. So obviously there was the massive ban, and people think normally, officially, if you're banned in this game or suspended, not banned, but either way, banned or suspended, you're going to get an email to your DCUO account. That didn't happen this time because they did basically a blanket ban of anyone to even purchase one, because that's the easiest way for them. It's, they can just, any player, anywhere that bought one of those packs was just instantly suspended for quotation cheating. And then basically what will happen is, the whole aspect in terms of whose fault it is, it's still a glitch in terms of the end of the day. I know some people using examples where if you go to Walmart and they have something listed for $1, and if you go to the cash register and it's $1, then you're going to get that item for $1, even though it was because it was a pricing error. But at the same point, that's really completely situational. Say, for example, you go to a car dealership and the car dealership sticker said $1.99 for a car instead of like a $10,099 or whatever. You're not getting that car for $1.99. Doesn't matter how much you argue to the salesman saying that's false advertising, that's a pricing error, that's your fault, I get the car for $1.99. You're not getting that car. Feel free to sue them in like a civil lawsuit if you really want to, but that's not going to go your way. And that's the same concept here. If something costs $50 and you're getting it for $1, that's obviously a glitch. And if you're going to buy like 50 of them, obviously you know what you're doing is wrong, and you're just hoping to skate under the radar. Now, in terms of this versus like the nth metal ally favor glitch that allowed people to have like max allies and max artifacts, that one I would wager was a lot more. In terms of like quantitative, how you actually break down the money, they can actually break down how much they lost, because obviously you can say, if like 10,000 of these packs were bought in 24 hours, then they can kind of qualify how much they can state how much money they've lost, where it's harder to do so in terms of artifacts and ally favor. But at the same time, it is a brutal glitch, a glitch that really shouldn't have happened. Same thing with other glitches. Like all the DCUO Online has to know that players are basically, they're not going to be that, I know this is a glitch, but I'm not going to do it. They're going to have some players that like that, but they're going to have some players that like, I'm going to open up 100 of these and then get, unsuspended, get banned for 2 weeks, come back and be completely rich. Because really at the end of the day, removing these items from players' accounts are very difficult, if not impossible, especially currency. You can't just log on, have like a, GM Powers, log on a player's account and delete their currency. I'm sure they might have the tech for that. I mean, in the past like 12 years of playing the game, I've never come across an example where any type of currency has been deleted from a player's account. Of course, if it's an item sitting in their inventory, then sure, that like they could log on, just auto delete that. What they could have done, they could have rolled back everything, because they've done, I think twice in the 12 years that I've done, they've set precedents in terms of rolling back year because of a glitch or a loot glitch. So they could have done that. I'm not sure if that works for items being bought off the marketplace, or because people are opening up time capsules and then trading them. It's a huge like logistical nightmare. And that's what the issue is. They really have to make sure that the quality control is there, because not anything to do with that update, I don't believe, or that had anything to do with the marketplace in terms of the Atlantean pack. It had to be something with that fall sale they released, and that affected the Atlantean pack more than something else. But that really should have been checked, because something like that, obviously they're going to lose tons of money because players across all servers are just going to exploit it. I mean, that's just the community that we're in. If there's some kind of glitch like that, they're going to do it tons of times. You can't ban hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of players, because the DC player base can't support that. I mean, you would turn into a ghost town if you're going to ban half the population because of a glitch that wasn't their fault. It's not like some kind of raid glitch or anything like that. So I understand both sides, but I understand at the same time, it's a trap. That's what it is. It's basically a trap. So if you haven't been unbanned yet, most likely you're going to be slowly unbanned. It's just that it happened on like a Friday, so over the weekend. Now it's just a Monday. I'm sure they're going to slowly unban players that maybe did bought like 5 or 10 or something like that, where buying 10 for $1 is still brutal because of how much time capsules and source marks they're going to get. But at the same time, I'm sure that's better than like the people who bought like 200 of them. So I would say you're safe, unless you got an email that says you're suspended. But if you did the ally and nth metal glitch and this one, then that's tough. That's tough, because they're going to have that in their record. So you can try to fight for it being a pricing error, but like I said, you could argue until you're blue in the teeth, or blue in the face, sorry. But I really don't think that's going to go your way. So those are a couple things that have grinded my gears recently. If you guys want me to kind of continue on this series, maybe be a bit more aggressive in terms of the commentary, but that's how it is. So we'll see you next video. DLC's launching soon on public test server. I'll have all those videos for you. Take care, guys.